baker, butcher, farmer's market. 1 bag of groceries, 5 different shops. Potentially, people would spend an entire day gathering food for the week. That was before pioneer Clarence Saunders entered the frontier of the food supply chain and created the first grocery store, Piggly Wiggly, revolutionizing the grocery industry.
Everything was full service, meaning you went in and you said, I would like a half a pound of butter, I need a pound of flour, I need a can of green peas, right? And the grocer would pull them off of a shelf and would bag them for you and hand them to you. Everything was full service. And then a grocery store called Piggly Wiggly was the first to do this, where they allowed people to come in and shop for their own groceries, go through a checker, and then leave. And it was revolutionary.
Costco, Safeway, Fred Meyer, and other grocery stores we enjoy today wouldn't exist without the outstanding example of Piggly Wiggly. Now, instead of multiple shops and multiple stops, people can get their bread and a big fat turkey leg all in one quick stop.
Before the 1900s, Piggly Wiggly never existed. Many people who got food either farmed it or went to individual shops, each to fill a variety of food. For example, you went to a butcher shop for meat and a baker shop for bread. Stores did exist, but they only gave a small variety of food, and none were chain stores. Upper-class people didn't even do the shopping themselves, and send and serve it because it was so time-consuming.
Back then, shoplifting was easier and caused many losses for buyers. The clerk had most of the power, changing the prices of items to their benefit. If you lived in a farming town, you might find tools more suited for farming. All of this made filing orders a mess. When young Clarence Saunders saw the extra work he had to put into filing customer orders, he came up with a bright idea: the supermarket.
Clarence Saunders was born on a farm in Amherst County, Virginia, on August 9, 1881, and his mother died when he was 5. His family struggled financially after the Civil War, so when he reached 11, he worked on a sawmill and limestone kiln in the summer and a general store during the holidays.
Clarence Saunders had many failed businesses in the past, which were mostly grocery store attempts, and he knew he needed a new idea to get his business up and running. Saunders used his observations as a general store worker to make the very first supermarket. As a supermarket, it included one of the first ever shopping carts, and customers now had self-service in an aisle system, where each aisle had a category of food. It was also one of the very first successful chain stores. Its name? Piggly Wiggly. He opened the store September 6, 1916.
He had already opened up 6 stores by the second year and sold $240,000 of groceries. Saunders' biggest store, King Piggly Wiggly, sold $114,000 groceries alone, which is the equivalent of $2 million today. Saunders had surpassed a Bauer business and sold groceries and got his first patent on October 9, 1917. Truly, Saunders planted a seed which sprouted into a new system of grocery stores, which are still used today in chain stores like Fred Meyer, Safeway, and QFC.
But during the Depression, Piggly Wiggly wasn't in luck. Business wasn't going as well as it was, but Clarence used the low stocks to his advantage, buying a large share of his stocks, as he knew he would profit from it when business went back up. But Saunders' luck didn't last. The Great Depression caused Saunders to not have enough money to pay loans for his sole owner expansion. Plus, his Saunders Stores Inc. business filed for bankruptcy after low debts, and Clarence, who knew his business was insolvent, did the same.
However, he was pulled out of debt by Silva Goldman. Silva Goldman bought a series of Piggly Wiggly stores and another chain store called Humpty Dumpty, where he introduced the idea of shopping carts to both. Saving Piggly Wiggly, Humpty Dumpty eventually failed. But Piggly Wiggly is still around today.
Piggly Wiggly had an interesting style of store. Each item had a tag next to it, with a clearly marked number. The price tag was attached to a hook for the employees to alter the prices. Saunders' first patent was for price tag means. He also earned a patent for adding tape to the cash register, which printed into receipts. Saunders' inspiration for self-service came from his knowledge that people didn't need a salesman to pick out their groceries.
It brought a lot more competition to the market. It brought a lot more choice and flexibility for the consumer. So for the individual that was going to the store, I think the self-service model also often brought together a lot of different items that they might have had to go to different mom and pop shops for. So you might have had to go get your bread from a bakery and your meat from a butcher and your dry canned goods from, I think, what was maybe the original kind of grocer. So I think those self-service chains, by starting to combine all of those things into one location, it gave convenience for the individual who was out doing the groceries.
Inside Piggly Wiggly, there were aisles with the items on them, organized by type, canning, etc. Before self-service, you would go to the clerk with a list of things that you wanted, and they would go get it for you. What self-service did was make it so you could roam around freely and grab things yourself.
At first, people were reluctant to try Saunders' new self-service methods, but it proved to be an effective way and efficient way of running things, which is why it's still used today. Many other stores also adopted self-service, seeing how successful Piggly Wiggly had become.
After Saunders lost Piggly Wiggly to Sylva Goldman during the Depression, he started again with nothing and created his next big idea, Lusso, the first self-checkout. His store was named after the technology used, which a customer selects what they want with a key, which they put into keyholes. The cashiers inserted ticker tape into a customer's keys, and the cost tallying would be done electronically. This new process was too complicated, and the conveyor system could not handle heavy items, unfortunately, which led to its demise.
Grocery stores today have the same system. You get the items you want with self-service. But some things are different, such as the variety of food available. For example, being able to walk into your local Albertsons and grabbing a mango, a dragon fruit, and a papaya was previously impossible. Not to mention brands. At the start of Piggly Wiggly, you might have 1 or 2 brands of flour available. Now, however, there's a whole aisle devoted to different flour brands.
Clarence Saunders passed away on October 14th, 1953. Saunders' journey may have been over, but the rise of self-service supermarkets certainly wasn't. Overall, Piggly Wiggly changed the way people got food entirely and made a big impact on the grocery industry as the very first self-service store. Pioneers like this may have started small, but with dedication, new ideas, and very hard work, they changed the world in a huge way. Piggly Wiggly was a grand achievement, but all it took was 3 things: a man, a pig, and a dream.